All right, I'd like to call this Monday, May 19th, School Committee Business Meeting to order. Mrs. Yell, can you take the roll, please?
Mayor Reardon.
I'm here.
Sarah Hall.
Here.
Andy Boger.
Here.
Brian Callahan.
Here.
Kathleen Shaw.
Here.
Juliet Walker.
Present.
Brianna Higgins. Here.
All right, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Walker.
Okay, so a little bit unusually, we are going to go into executive session at the start of the meeting. So those of you who are maybe tuned in from home, want to take a pause, we're going to reconvene at 7. We'll keep the Zoom on, but we will not be meeting again until we get out of executive session. And for the purposes of going into executive session, I just want to read the purpose. I accept a motion pursuant to MGLC 30A, Section 21A3, for the purpose of discussing strategy as it relates to collective bargaining with the AFSCME union, as an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the committee as declared by the chair, as well as to discuss contract strategy for non-union personnel.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, roll call vote?
Mayor Reardon.
Yes.
Sarah Hall.
Yes.
Andrew Boger.
Yes.
Brian Callahan.
Yes.
Brianna Higgins. Yes. Kathleen Shaw.
Yes.
Juliet Walker.
Yes. All right, so we will be back after our executive session. Hey, now we have a packed house. See what happens when we go? Come back. All right. Okay, so let's see, where are we on the agenda? All right, I guess I'll call back to order for the regular school committee business meeting agenda at 7:13 p.m. I do have a request that we take something out of order. Could we move the item number 8, which is Innovation Career Pathways Grant Update, ahead on the agenda so that we can hear from Principal Wolf and Dr. Hobbs?
When more?
Just a motion?
To what order?
Right now.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the Vice Chair votes aye. There you go.
Thank you.
As they're getting ready, just want to credit Mr. Wolf and Dr. Hobbs for all their work on career pathways, and we were granted 2 more pathways, and I'm just going to have them report out on it.
And my part is actually very brief today. I'm really here to introduce Dr. Hobbs, who has been our pathways coordinator for this past year, and has really just done some great work as we're starting to learn more about the state pathways program and the different funding sources that come with it. But then also, as you hopefully are already aware, it's been a big part of our school improvement plan as well, as we've been looking to create pathways for students, but then also expand career and technical programming for our students as well. And that's where we came across a couple of years ago the innovation pathways, which we applied for, and Erin's going to talk to you about where we're at currently with that program, but then also our future plans to continue that expansion for our students. All right, Dr. Hobbs.
Good evening, everybody. Just to put us back into the same frame of mind around what are the innovation career pathways, I just want to tell you some of the purposes of the pathway, just to remind us. Innovation career pathways are really designed for our students to undergo some career exploration and gain hands-on experience in fields of interest. They also allow students to develop skills and work-based learning have work-based learning experiences through internship programs and also experiences within the classroom. We also want students to really be college and career ready, which is also part of our portrait of a graduate, is having kids ready with a plan for post-secondary either education or a career after high school. And so our pathways are really designed to have authentic learning experiences for our kiddos, but it's also in line with our MyCap and our MyCap plan, which is really having students develop a plan for both career and academics along the way. So, as you know, last year we received the Environmental and Life Science pathway. That's been great. This coming year, we have 2 more pathways in our program. One is Advanced Manufacturing, and the other is Healthcare and Social Assistance. So going into next year, we are going from, at the start of this year, 3 students to already 28 students in our pathway. So we are expanding, and we're excited to see how it's grown already. Just to shout out to, we have some amazing partners in this community. The Environmental and Life Science pathway we've been working with and meeting with all year. We've had 3 meetings with our advisory board, which have members from GOMI as well as ACES and Maple Crest Farm. And also the Workforce Investment Board has been joining us in some of those meetings as well. We're really excited looking ahead at our new partnerships. We are partnering with UFP Technologies, which is right here in Newburyport, as well as Atria at Merrimack Place. It's the assisted living facility right down the road. We're really excited for those partnerships because those are brand new for students to work with. So just some updates of what we've done to our program of studies since we met last around the Environmental and Life Science pathway. We've expanded it to include some more courses. One is a technical course, which is Organic Chemistry and Toxicology. This falls under a couple pathways, so we're excited to add that to our program of studies. And we are also expanding our AP or advanced coursework options just within this one pathway. We're really excited about that. And I'll talk about certifications in a couple more minutes. Our advanced manufacturing, we actually had a really robust program already in place, which is really exciting. But with that, we are making some small adjustments to the curriculum, so it's aligned with our partnerships. We are working to go out and meet with UFP Technologies again and talk about some of the hands-on skills that students will need in that pathway. And then in the healthcare and social assistance pathway, again, we added the organic chemistry and toxicology. That one overlaps. But we are adding a couple courses so that we can bring this pathway into the fold of our program of studies. And one is we're taking our Intro to Biotechnology course, and we're expanding it to have a second semester that's aligned with biotechnology with forensics. And then we're also adopting a Project Lead the Way course, Principles of Biomedical Science. And that is a great course that exposes kids to a variety of career options as well as skills within the healthcare field. So we are also working on some certifications for our students so that they can have industry-recognized credentials moving forward. So this spring, we are offering an OSHA 10 course. So students, as well as staff, are taking this course together, which is exciting. And then we are also offering CPR. We have a great Red Cross Club that's been working with the community to train community members as well as students. So we have student trainers at the high school, and they just ran a workshop on May 9th for students at the high school, and they all earned their CPR, AED, and Heimlich maneuver certification. So some other great things that have happened since we've adopted the ICPs is some of the funding that comes along with it. So this year, we our first year in the ICP gave us a $75,000 grant in planning for this upcoming addition of 2 new pathways. We received a $15,000 planning grant, and we were also, because we were in the pathways and adopting 2 more, we were eligible to apply for and received a $35,000 grant just this year, so that's exciting. Next year and for the next 4 years, with an ICP designation, we receive $50,000 per year. And then with the adoption of the Project Lead the Way course, we applied for a grant, and the adoption of that course is covered for the next few years, which is really exciting. And that was about $14,000. So again, we've used this funding to purchase equipment, as well as certification and course fees for students, tutoring for students, interventions for any student that may be struggling or might need some extra help. Transportation could include things, anything from field trips to getting to a internship, as well as we were able to use some of the funding, especially through the Career Connections Grant, to work on our MyCap program and really build a more robust program through our advisory. Also at professional development and salaries help with those. Looking ahead, because we're part of these ICP programs, we are eligible to apply for some skills capital, technology, and equipment grants. And as we look ahead even more, there's some Chapter 74 grant funding that we could consider as well. Again, these skills capitals grant, they haven't been released yet, but historically they're about $75,000 per pathway up to. And we can apply for 2 of them, and that would be for equipment upgrades. And then if we were to look at some of the Chapter 74 funding, it could be retrofitting 2 spaces as well. We are also starting to look at how can we increase career exploration in many different ways, and some of those things might actually be adopting some Chapter 74 designations, and with the early childhood education program coming into the school district, and also building our new radio and television broadcasting room within the high school. So, and that's about it. Anything else to add, Mr. Wolf, or does anybody have any questions?
Questions?
Yes.
Mr. Callahan?
Thanks. I'm a big fan of the program. I just want to know, is the required internships, are those paid?
They can be paid or unpaid.
They can be, or they like they choose to be
Ideally,
paid or unpaid, or
we
they offer
encourage
unpaid?
people to, if they can pay,
Okay.
but they do not have to be
They don't have
paid internships. And ideally, they're in the actual career field that aligns.
No,
with
I understand.
them.
That's,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of work for no pay. You know.
Most so
Aren't.
Thanks.
Questions? Yeah.
I had a couple of questions. What are the required courses? If you could go back to that, I wasn't sure with the AP courses. I mean, I assume they don't have to take all of them to get them.
Oh, absolutely not. So they need to take 2 technical courses
Okay.
and 2 advanced courses. So our technical courses, we're trying to give kids as much flexibility and choice as possible.
So they're they have to pick like 2 from each list.
Well, just 2 technical, but some of them, they do have to take 1 in the middle, and they have to take at least 1 or 2 on the right. And a student could make it through these pathways without taking an AP course. So they can or may not take one.
Okay.
Because there are some courses like our anatomy and physiology, for example, if we look at this one, this is considered an advanced course because it's dual enrollment, and so students can get undergraduate credit from Southern New Hampshire University, and pre-calculus is another example of an advanced course, but it's not AP.
That's great. Thank you. And just two quick comments that maybe you could just look into for the future. One is for this healthcare and social assistance pathway. There's a huge need, particularly in our area in the Merrimack Valley, for bilingual staff members to fill these roles. So if we have any students that either are bilingual or really doing well in their second language, or specifically Spanish, and you can encourage them to get the seal of biliteracy, it makes them hugely marketable in this field in particular. It's a huge need for that. So if you could even encourage anyone, or have the counselors encourage people to kind of follow both of those, that would be really amazing. And then the second comment, you'd have to look this up, but I'm pretty sure either on the grant or somewhere, Mr. Wolf, I think you can actually pay students on the grant for their internships. And so that's something you could potentially look into. I know there's schools that do it. You'd have to figure out exactly like logistics, but essentially if you were to say we would pay students, particularly students that might need a second job, and so if they're working Market Basket because they need a second job and then they can't take their internship because they can't give up their Market Basket salary, that type of thing. But if you can give them, even minimum wage, so $15 an hour will pay you up to 30 hours for this semester, like that's the cap of how much we can give you, that type of thing. But it's something to look into. I know there's other schools that do that.
Okay. Mara, did you have a question? Okay. Other questions? Yeah.
I just have a comment. I love the fact that early childhood education, in terms of the work I do, I mean, there are daycares that could basically serve more children. They just don't have the staffing. So I think that that's wonderful, and glad that that's going to be linked with the child care center. So.
Great.
I just have a quick question. I guess, so when you're looking to partner, do you continue to look to partner with, like you have Atria, which is great, but like, could you add Anna Jakes? If Anna Jakes wanted to do it, you could. Okay.
Yes, we could. And so these partnerships can vary, but we are also looking for input too on our programming and topics. So for example, one meeting with Atria, we talked about bringing in HIPAA as part of our curriculum and discussion for students going into the pathway. So just some skills or knowledge that the kids might need so that they could be successful.
Great. Okay, any other questions for the staff? All right, thank you so much for the presentation. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
All right.
All right, so circling back to our regular agenda. I believe our next item is public comment. Do we have anybody in the room? Doesn't look like it. Do we have anyone on Zoom? Okay. All right, moving on to the warrant.
We have a warrant. I move that the following named bills of the Newburyport Public Schools amounting in the aggregate $481,638.50 be approved and forwarded to the city auditor for payment. There are no conflicts.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Everyone received a copy of the warrant via email? Okay, no discussion. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the vice chair votes aye. Okay, next item on our agenda is the student representative report. Mr. McKnight.
All right. All right. So in the Bresnahan, last week, third graders in Mrs. Mayo's class met their senior center pen pals after 8 months of writing letters back and forth. It was heartwarming to see the genuine friendships that formed, and we're excited to continue this wonderful tradition. A big thank you to Mary Kelly, Sarah Landry, and Liz Walsh from the Senior Center for helping to coordinate, and to Jill Mayo, her class, and all the seniors who participated. This is a busy time for field trips. First graders visited the Great Bay Science Center to learn about ecosystems last week. This week, kindergartners are exploring the Dover Children's Museum. Second graders are going to Theater in the Open, and third graders are heading to Spencer Pierce Farm this week. Thank you to our PTO for helping make these trips possible by funding the buses and keeping them accessible for all students. Over the weekend, several Bresnahan students performed at the Waterfront Festival. Huge thanks to Gardner Rulon Miller and the Performing Arts team for putting on a fantastic show, and to the NEF for supporting the event. Our kids love performing. Looking ahead, we're excited for the STEAM Expo this week. Over 16 local STEAM volunteers will share their passions with students in grades 1 through 3. We're especially grateful for our NHS Knock and Mullen student volunteers, and for Lori Towell from Code and Circuit, who's bringing Spot the Robot Dog. It's going to be a great day, and all school committee members are invited to attend. In the Mullen, National Book Award finalists and TED speaker Jarrett J. Kraszowska, Polish last name, takes the stage for special assemblies at the Mullen School on May 23rd. Known for his engaging storytelling and impactful illustrations, Krozoska will present the Mullen community with multimedia presentations on his creative journey and the process he takes to create his award-winning books. Mullen School has partnered with Our Neighbor's Table for a condiments and dollar drive, where $1 equals one meal and one huge difference. The dollar drive will run from May 12th to May 23rd. As of May 19th, the Mullen students, staff, and community are providing 5,375 meals and have raised $5,375 in total, and the Mullen STEM Expo is on June 6th. Okay. In the NOC, this week has been an exciting one across all grade levels, showcasing the depth of our students' learning experiences. In grade 8, ELA classes are engaging in fishbowl discussions around To Kill a Mockingbird. This week, they are joined by special guests, our senior book buddies, who will participate in the conversations. 8th graders will take the lead in welcoming their partners and escorting them to the classrooms, continuing to foster intergenerational connection and deeper literary dialogue. In the 7th grade, students are preparing for their annual Volunteerism Week, a service learning tradition rooted in civic responsibility. As part of this initiative, students will attend to local ceremonies, helping maintain gravestones and participating in the annual flag planting project in honor of veterans for Memorial Day. This meaningful work instills pride, reverence, and a strong sense of community stewardship. Finally, in grade 6, last week, students visited backcountry tiny homes as part of their ongoing interdisciplinary project focused on sustainable living. Through hands-on learning and direct engagement with the tiny home movement, students were able to see the behind-the-scenes construction of a tiny home. They were able to hear about how engineers and contractors refine their designs and apply real-world insights. 6th grade will finish the year in their math classes, designing a tiny home as part of the last unit. Finally, in the high school, on Thursday, May 22nd, the junior class will participate in the Credit for Life Fair, which is organized and sponsored by the Institution for Savings. This activity teaches financial literacy and allows students to manage a monthly budget using the standard salary of a 25-year-old in their profession of interest. Next week is Senior Week, and there are many events that offer the opportunity for this community to come and celebrate. On May 29th, there is the Senior Promenade on the front lawn, starting at 5 p.m. On the 31st, there is the Senior Class Family Car Parade. Spectators can watch along High Street and the NHS front lawn, starting at 10 a.m. And on June 1st, the seniors graduate, starting at 11 a.m. That is all for today.
You earned your money's worth tonight.
Yeah, that was quite a bit.
Well done. Any questions for our student? All right, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is, oh wait, sorry. I believe the collective bargaining agreement between Newburyport Teacher Union and the Newburyport School Committee. So if somebody would like to make a motion to ratify the Memorandum of Understanding for the period September 1st, 2025 to August 31st, 2028.
So moved.
Second.
All right. And this is for the agreement with the Newburyport Teachers Association that that the NTA previously voted to ratify. So this would be the same version, obviously. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the vice chair votes aye. All right, thanks everyone, and thank you superintendent and staff and the NTA for a very productive negotiation year.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
It was great. Thanks, school committee members. Especially today's day and age, a successful negotiation. It's all about relationships and doing what's best for the district. So both sides came out with a great agreement.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next item actually is our report from our Newburyport Whittier School Committee rep, Ms. Delay. Please. Oh, yeah.
Do we need to do a roll call vote for the?
Oh, do we?
Actually, you know what? We do.
I think we do. Sorry, thank
good
you.
call.
Good catch.
Thank you, Joanne.
All right. Go ahead.
Dave Reardon,
Yes.
Sarah Hall,
Yes.
Andrew Boger,
Yes.
Brian Callahan,
Yes.
Brianna Higgins,
Yes.
Cameron Shaw,
Yes.
Julia Walker.
Yes. All right, thank you. Now you may come up.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here with you all. Congratulations on ratification of your collective bargaining agreement.
Thank you.
Start off, focus on students. On May 29th, Whittier will have its graduation ceremony at 7:00 p.m. That's a Thursday. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. Our prom is going to be at the Blue Ocean in Salisbury on Tuesday, May 27th. There are 6 students who will be graduating from Whittier Tech from Newburyport. And in terms of the class of 2025 and the plans of our graduates, we have 41% of the students who are planning to enter the workforce. We also have another 22% attending 2-year colleges and 28% planning to attend 4-year colleges. Moving on to budget, tomorrow night, May 20th, the Superintendent Lynch will be at the Budget and Finance Committee meeting of the City Council to present the Whittier budget to the committee. Just give you a quick overview. The budget for Whittier Tech overall, the FY26 budget increased by a little over $1.1 million, or 3.63%. Of that 1.13 million, 520 of it is covered by the increase in Chapter 70, and the rest, about $612,000, is what is being assessed to the communities. So that assessment is up about 3.72%. For Newburyport, the increase in the operating assessment is 12.9%. That might seem high, but the enrollment has increased by 3 students. And so there's a shift in the percentage of the total contribution from 2.5 to 2.7 for Newburyport. In addition, the capital went up overall by about $126,000 versus last year, and of that, about $11,000 is for the Newburyport's part of that assessment. That increases 18.32%. The good news is while a little bit more of the operating assessment is shifted to Newburyport, a little bit less of the capital assessment is shifted this year to Newburyport due to your overall declining enrollment. In terms of the capital, right now, the real decision is what is it that we absolutely have to do to keep the building operating as we're waiting to see what happens with our future building project. And so things like electrical panels and gym heaters and the OPM for the wastewater treatment plant to determine what we're going to do with that is the majority of the increase in the capital cost. I will credit Superintendent Lynch. She went into this budget cycle looking to ensure that we kind of minimize the increase minimize any increases in staff, even though we have a high demand for programs like electrical and plumbing. What we've done is shifted staff from other programs. The committee voted actually to eliminate 3 programs, one of which was early education and care, which is nice to see that, as we expected, that some of the comprehensive schools would pick up some of those programs. But early education and care, design and visual communication, and construction craft labor were 3 of the programs that were eliminated. So I'm sure the superintendent will have a much more detailed presentation to give tomorrow on the budget. And then finally, I just wanted to let folks know that tomorrow night, another big night, I guess tomorrow afternoon, I think it is, the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education is scheduled to vote on proposed amendments to the regulations governing admissions to CTE schools. The proposed regulations are looking to require a lottery at all CTE schools where they have wait lists. This would replace the current system, which allowed schools to use selective criteria like grades and recommendations. So the proposed changes are really aimed to address concerns that current admissions processes disproportionately disadvantage certain groups of students. So this would be a move to, if approved, it would be a move to a weighted lottery system where certain factors would be used to give some students an advantage, but no student would be barred from entering the lottery. So those factors include attendance, discipline and a demonstration of interest. So that's remains to be seen where the state heads with that. I will defer comments on the building project because I know you have that item on the agenda, but I'll stick around in case there's questions you have for me.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Delay? Yeah, Member Higgins?
My only question is, if the regulations pass tomorrow, does that change any admissions criteria to Whittier? I'm not sure what the criteria is right now.
Right now, we've already done the admissions process for the upcoming 25-26 school year, so that would go into effect for the 26-27 school year. We do currently use selective criteria like grade and attendance, as do many of the schools. So this would significantly change the way we admit students, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, just a point of clarification, did you say the superintendent is presenting to our city council tomorrow night?
That's correct.
Okay, so we're disconnected from the schools. We are on the same night. Okay.
I was just going to say I was also a little surprised by that because I feel like historically it was the same night we were doing it, which I believe is June 5th. Has that been confirmed?
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know why that was scheduled.
Curious. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, and appreciate you staying around for the next item.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so the next item is looking at the Whittier VOTEC, I guess, the joint study, but getting more information. We sort of introduced this at the last meeting, but...
Yeah, we talked about this last time. I really don't have a ton to add on this, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Okay.
So similarly, like I did with all of you, I have sent the PowerPoints, the feasibility study. I've actually put a request for funding for the feasibility study into City Council, so I do think that will come up tomorrow night with Superintendent Lynch there in person. So I guess I'll just stop there. So by July 1st, for the MSBA to kind of stay in their program, stay in line, all of the 11 cities and towns has to sign a kind of letter of approval or a letter of agreement that we all agree that this is a worthwhile exercise, looking at the shared campus model between Northern Essex and Whittier. We also have to fully fund a feasibility study. I think Newburyport's share in that is about $166,000. That's obviously based on the old regional agreement and the capital allocation from that. And so for us in Newburyport, I get to sign, and being the chief executive, I can sign that letter of approval. I did want to kind of hear from you, which is why I put that in a couple meetings ago, just where you're at on it, and then that's why I did it with the city council as well. But ultimately, I'll have to make that decision. But city council will have to approve any kind of funding for the $166,000 for the feasibility study, which is why I put that in now, just so they can kind of have that conversation. I think I said this last time, we've had 4 meetings, I believe, altogether of this working group. They haven't been incredibly great meetings, I'll be completely honest. But, I mean, for the most part, everyone's come to the table. Rowley was the last one to finally come. They've come to the last 2 meetings. I think we're all in agreement that we'd like to move forward with this and see what it looks like. If anything else, I think this gives Newburyport options moving forward, because what we have agreed on collectively is that if we do move forward, or if this moves forward, this shared campus model, it'll lead to a brand new regional agreement. So it won't be a redo of the old regional agreement, it'll be brand new. And then I think all 11 cities and towns can choose if they'd like to participate in that or not. At least that's the way I'm looking at it. I think it gives Newburyport options if we continue to look towards that. We've also talked a little bit about updating the current regional agreement, and Haverhill has made it very clear that they are not interested in doing that. So like Mary just said, we've got a lot of kids going to Whittier right now that we got to keep that building operated on too. So, Superintendent Litch is working with her people as well, coming up with a plan of how we can keep that building afloat while we work on this next plan.
Okay.
Sorry, that's not a ton, but I'm happy to answer questions. Like I said, everything was in your packet. I put the Donahue report in there. I put the slides that we were working off of. Like I said, there was kind of four buckets that the Donahue report we're looking at as far as what that model should look like, and we kind of landed in buckets 3 and 4, which is a shared campus model, and then 4 would be a completely new school. So we kind of think we're going to land maybe somewhere in between those two. And I would say the closer you get to bucket 4 is I think you'll get the most state aid for something like that, because you are creating something new. So I think we'll land in between there a little bit. We use the land that we have at Northern Essex. There'll be some shared services because they'll have things already in place there. And then coming up with what exactly you would build there, because they have plenty of land to do that there as well.
Just a question for clarification. So the working group was set up specifically for the shared campus study?
Yes.
And are they, if the feasibility study money gets approved, will they continue, will that working group sort of continue through that feasibility study, or what is the thought?
No, I think they will, because I think
Okay.
the plan all along, since kind of learning from the vote and what we felt like that last building project was like, that I think they want to keep that all 11 communities engaged, and that's the
Okay.
way to do that. The feasibility study is great, and the Donnie report is great. I don't know if you looked at it. I mean, it doesn't go into too much detail. I guess it's a lot of what ifs. Like, so for me, it's still like I can't wrap my head around what exactly it looks like, because they haven't figured that out yet, right? They can pick out some, a school in Colorado does this, or this a school in North Carolina does this, but it's not apples to apples. So I think we are kind of talking about creating a new entity, whether it be a shared campus model or a brand new school. So there's still a lot of questions out there, and I think the feasibility study will at least answer some of them. But then the educational plan that goes into that's another whole process as well. So I mean, that's why this is going to be a process, which kind of makes the current building top of mind as well. How do we keep that building afloat without putting too many resources into it, and then have to go back with a new a new building as well. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Questions for the mayor?
So I don't know why Whittier's going tomorrow night, but they're going tomorrow night. And I had submitted all these things to Budget and Finance. Budget and Finance didn't take up the feasibility study money at their last meeting, but I'm sure, I haven't talked to the chair of Budget and Finance, but I'm sure that will be work into the discussion, not only this year's budget, but then probably an update from her directly about where we're at in this process.
Okay. And I think you mentioned this already, but in order to stay eligible for the Whittier Tech folks to stay eligible for the Mass School Building Authority, part of that process is signing off on this letter of intent.
Right, but July 1st. We've
By
set like a
July
June
1st.
1st deadline, but July 1st is like the absolute drop
Okay,
dead.
and your thought is that everybody except Haverhill will probably sign that letter of intent?
No, Haverhill's
Haverhill
on.
will too.
Yep, Haverhill's on.
Okay.
Haverhill just doesn't want to change the current agreement.
I see.
I think we're all in agreement, even Raleigh coming to the table at the end, that this
Okay.
is worth looking into.
Okay.
If anything, like I said, it gives us options for districts, moving forward.
Okay, so they've laid out a process for you guys, for the Whittier Tech to stay in the MSBA process through
Right.
a series of steps, and so far you're following those steps.
Yes.
Yeah, Member Higgins?
You might not have gotten to this point yet, but are any of the conversations around creating a school that seats more students?
As of right now, no. So they're talking keeping their enrollment as is.
Is there any reason why?
I think cost has a little bit to do with it. But they would have more opportunity. So I guess that maybe could happen. I know when we were talking about the original school building project, they weren't talking about increasing enrollment.
But now if we're talking about a whole new building,
It would be different. They're not looking to put, that's why I think the shared campus model, maybe they would, indirectly get more students, because now they're, sharing with Northern Essex, I don't know. But like I said, the pathway and what that looks like for a typical student, it goes in and then we'll go through Whittier and Northern Essex. But they haven't worked all that out yet.
just my 2 cents, the growing demand for vocational, the very few seats there are, it'd be a shame to miss an opportunity, which is very rare, for a vocational school to build a brand new building and not build it for more kids. I think that would be a really big missed opportunity.
It's kind of funny, the growing demand for that, but Whittier's graduating only 40% kids not going to college. So
That's
60% of them are going to regular college, they're not going to a trade.
Right. Yeah, I think.
So if the demand is there, why are those kids graduating to go to college?
Because it's a higher demand, it's becoming more and more popular, and given this is controversial, but given the selective admissions, you might not be getting as many of the students that prefer to go into a trade. You're getting a lot of kids who have the means and the desire to go to a college, and they can also attend a vocational school, which kind of gives them a head start.
I have many opinions. I do have one question, Mayor. The agenda for tomorrow night's budget and finance meeting actually says NPS on it, which I presume is Newburyport Public Schools, underneath Whittier.
I think it probably just says that because we have a different
I
date.
think it's CIP.
No,
CIP.
it's a separate line item. Budget CIP, CIP
let's
intro,
just make
Whittier,
sure we know
NPS, Parks.
I think those are.
I mean, if we're supposed to be there, we should go,
does
right?
NPS stand for Newburyport Public Schools or Newburyport Parks?
Parks is a separate line item.
a separate line.
I know tomorrow,
Oh, go ahead.
Ms. McSweeney.
Yeah, do you have a clarification?
Yeah, I was at the budget finance meeting, and they mentioned that it was your capital plan
Capital
that NPS
improvement
was
plan.
going to be presenting.
Yeah.
That the budget was at a later date.
That's probably James.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going with James.
And you were expecting
okay.
that
So
for
it's just
tomorrow?
not,
Okay,
it's a little confusingly written, which is
yeah, thank
not
you.
everybody here is issues. So, thank you.
I just wanted to add too, I think during the feasibility study, to your question, Brianna, is that during the feasibility study, I do believe that they will look at many options, and MSBA has already made it very clear that one of the options that has to be examined is keeping the school at the existing site, even though I think that all of us do not think that's feasible, that they want us to study that. But I'm also imagining that they will study various enrollment options as well as part of that, whether it was at Whittier or at the NECO campus.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. While you're up there, has there been any talk at all about tying into the city sewer? Because that had come up, 2 years ago now, on the verge of Flushing-Mageddon. They didn't have a day left, and they were going to try and tie in.
Yeah, my understanding is that it's not feasible to tie into the Haverhill
Merrimack, maybe?
Haverhill's. They were going to look at tying into the sewer system for Merrimack, but Merrimack actually, that was a concept that they were going to build a new sewer treatment facility.
Oh, a whole new thing.
And that at that point, that Whittier could tie in, but that's several years out. They don't even, I believe, have an appropriation for that.
Okay.
The NECC site is already tied into Haverhill.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, thanks, Mayor. Anything else? Oh, good. All right, next item on our agenda is the Newburyport High School Community Dialogue Cell Phones in Schools Report out.
Yes. Was I the only school committee member there? Or you were there? Okay, good, excellent. So if you want to weigh in, I'm calling it a success. Our goal was to get a variety of participants, and we did. So we had just over 100 people participate, and people were organized into mixed groupings that included students, teachers, parents, other community members, and each table, so we were at round tables. Each table had a trained facilitator, leader, and that person was trained in the Essential Partners Dialogue technique, which basically allows for equitable sharing and listening. So there's a little timer, and we went through a series of 3 questions, starting with our experiences around phone use, then getting into feelings, and then values. And so each round, I think it was maybe 90 seconds, each person has to share out, and then you have a little time to collect your thoughts, and there was an opportunity for questions at the end. To wrap it up, we had everyone, or we had tried to get everyone to complete something called an exit ticket by answering the following question. What do you wish policymakers, that's us, would consider or understand better about the experiences, feelings, and values shared in your group tonight, specifically related to phone use in schools? And they collected 76 exit tickets.
Right.
And that has all been compiled at this point, I believe. The goal was to enter it all into a Google form, for ease of access. And then the team did meet today. I wasn't able to attend, but they had a meeting today. They're having another one, I think, early next week, with the goal of creating a presentation that they would like to bring to all of us on June 2nd. I think I connected you on that in an email, Vice Chair, so you'll probably see that. And they will, present the compiled results as well as possibly some draft policy language recommendations. So I don't know, well, I guess we'll have to see what they bring to us, but maybe we can continue to work on how we would bring that forward. We'll have to see what the process would be in terms of the timing of having policy subcommittee review it, and then bringing it back to the whole group. Because I think that if we are going to implement something that would be making changes at the high school level, I'd love to see them be able to start that at the beginning of the next school year. So just thinking about how that works with timing of meetings.
Yeah. It might be a little challenging because I think you've already...
I agree.
The schools have already completed their amendments to their handbook for next year, and, we, as a school committee, would need to figure out if the policy subcommittee can get together in time. So
right.
I think that's a great goal.
I'm just saying to be mindful of that.
Yes, 100%.
If that could be possible.
Yes, I think we'll think about it, but I think it could be challenging. So
agreed.
But I appreciate your involvement with that, and I was unfortunate I couldn't make it, but I felt very well represented by the two of you, so appreciate that you guys both attended.
Is there anything you'd like to add from your experience?
I was very impressed with the students at the table I was at. Very thoughtful, but understanding where some of the adults were coming from, and the adults' understanding or lack thereof in certain, and being willing to kind of, gently kind of explain why the phone and its main use is communication and feeling connected to not only their peers, but their family, which brings up other questions too, but that, because maybe you shouldn't be that connected to your parents when you're a senior in high school, considering you'll be moving on. And anyways, that's just my little editorial thought. But what I always wonder is, like, when we have those kinds of events, you get the volunteers are usually the students that I want to hang out with and I want to hear from. How do you bring in the students, Mr. Wolf, that, maybe kind of got into some Snapchat problems or, saw the dark side of Discord? You're not seeing those kids stepping up and going, yeah, I'm here. So, just in terms of thinking about some of that, because I hear more of that in my professional world and, the dark side. So, yeah. So anyways, just a thought. But I think it was very well facilitated, and I was really pleased to see so many people there.
Yeah, I was pleased that we were able to get a nice cross-section of individuals to participate. And I found it very enlightening at my table, just to hear the different perspectives. So.
When we got in there, it's like, well, we'll go in the gym. I'm like, the gym? Like, why? And then I walk in and go, oh, because there's so many people here. We need to have so many tables. So it was great. It was really nicely done.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll be able to fill us in on a kind of a summary of the results at our next meeting.
Great.
Yeah,
and we have a lot of items for June 2nd.
Sure.
So I'm not we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And I just also want to credit Lynn Cody, Eric Shulga.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for
hard work
for that. Yes.
The planning that went into this. There was a lot of positive feedback. I heard from a lot of parents. And I had my advisory superintendent council that same night, and parents came and reported out and how wonderful it was. They came in with like certain views and then listening to the kids, and I think it was well planned out, and it was just a great community event. And I think the feedback that Mr. Wolf and the administration is going to get will help guide some policy down the road. So,
Great, well, thank you. Very helpful. Any questions?
No, I would just say thank you to Ms. Hall and Ms. Shaw for going, and also for the high school and for taking it on. It's such a large discussion topic and issue, sort of societally, so there's almost two pieces to it, sort of what's going on in the zeitgeist and then what's Newburyport doing. And so I think just as historical context to repeat, our district was ahead of the game, and good on Mr. Callahan and the mayor who were there at the time, and the administration and the principals and our educators that might have been there. I think it was 2019 when that was all put into place, and that's sort of ahead of the curve, and now everybody's sort of dealing with that. I think it is an interesting, to Mrs. Hall's point about sort of implementing things, I think going forward, we're only going to see more and more shifting challenges, and I think we're going to be under the gun to maybe adapt more quickly. And this is just one topic, but there's some cultural commentary right now that we kind of took a wait and see approach with this over the last decade, and there was maybe not Newburyport, but sort of catastrophic consequences of that across the population. And we're about to enter a massive sea change with AI, and we may not be able to afford a wait and see approach for the next decade. So it'll be interesting to see how we can collectively attack really challenging issues as a group. So thank you for bringing that along in such a thoughtful way.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, next item on the agenda is subcommittee updates. Finance Subcommittee.
We meet Wednesday at 8 a.m. at central office. Everybody's cool with that, right?
Thank you.
8 Wednesday?
Yeah. Wednesday instead of Thursday. We're usually
Correct.
Thursday.
Yes, correct. Policy Subcommittee?
Yeah, so we're scheduled to meet Monday, June 9th at 7 at central office, but I suppose if we need to move it up.
I don't think we'll move it up.
No?
June 9th,
Okay.
fine. Yeah. All right, thank you. Communications Subcommittee, Ms. Hall?
Yes, we our next meeting is scheduled for next week, May 29th. That's a Thursday. I'm not certain whether we need that or not. Maybe we can have some discussion about that. The main purpose, if we had it, would be to prepare for the June 5th presentation at Budget and Finance. So maybe I can be in touch with you, Vice Chair, if that's something you'd like us to meet collectively, or if you feel like you and the superintendent kind of have it under control, then we can touch base.
Okay.
And we can talk about that in tomorrow's
FinCom,
meeting too.
yep.
So.
In your FinCom meeting? Okay.
Because the budget's always part of the
Absolutely.
agenda, right? So.
Yeah, well then, why don't we follow up following
Yes.
FinCom on whether it's something that would be useful or not? Okay?
Yeah, I think you should hold it for now. And
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teaching and Learning Subcommittee, any updates?
We pushed back our May meeting until June, and we're going to hear from each of the principals on the school improvement plans in June.
Okay. All right. And Superintendent Evaluation Subcommittee, I think we're moving that forward
Yeah.
shortly.
Yep. So next meeting, you should have something.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Just a quick, actually go back to school improvement plan. I think we then have to vote on the school improvement plans at some point. Is that not till October?
Yeah, you would have to do it
Okay,
until
thank you.
we come back.
Okay. All right, next item is superintendent's report.
All right, well, student rep report, he covered some of the things, but the Waterfront Festival was awesome and the weather held up. It was supposed to rain, but we got it in. Good call by Stephanie Phillips. It was just, I can't say enough about our music department and our teachers. Lisa Furlong meeting with all of the departments in every school, and then the collective thinking outside the box how we can bring music, and then having all of our teachers collaborating around the district, where Mr. Cohen's working with elementary kids, and it's, and Stephanie Phillips. It's just a great team. And you just reap the benefits. The Waterfront Festival, the students' participation was the most I've ever seen, and it was just a great day for everybody. So I want to credit them. And also the NEF has been sponsoring the Waterfront Festival for years, and they're a great sponsor. And they donate the stage and the seats and all that type of stuff. Yep, awesome. I had our annual Essex County Law Enforcement Education Breakfast, so through the ADL. It's where schools and law enforcement get together and just really speak about the rise of anti-Semitism and hate, unfortunately. Massachusetts was ranked number 5 out of the country for increases in such crimes. And the messaging from all the speakers was very clear. We have to stay together, stand up to hate, especially today more than ever. Very powerful message. And what was really nice is there was around 200 students that were there, student leaders from all the districts on the North Shore. And what's really uplifting is that's our future. And they, I think, fully understand the challenges of our society. And I think they'll be ready to take over, for us as they get older. So, and I just want to thank Mark Tucker for inviting me, and he's a great representation of Newburyport. And it was a good event. Next, and I'll say a few things, but the mayor was at Miss Jean Kirkpatrick's classroom dedication. This was an amazing event. Miss Kirkpatrick was a second grade teacher, I think 1953, and taught 40...
Retired in 94, 42 years.
Wow.
42 years. And what was really... former Mayor Clancy had her in class, and what was really moving also was Joan Sheehan, our former union president, legendary teacher, and herself had Miss Kirkpatrick in second grade and influenced her so much that she wanted to become an elementary teacher. So you could just see the full circle there, and it was just so heartwarming, and it was awesome. And I know, Mayor, you said some great things too.
That was fun. Good turnout on a rainy day, and she was just a hot ticket the whole time.
Yeah, she was.
I love that picture.
She was awesome.
Yeah, and she said a few words at the end too, and the Institution of Savings and the NEF are also a very big part of that great celebration. Peace Prize Awards. Once again, many of our students and a couple of adults were recognized. And they're recognized for a few things. Their criteria is maintaining diversity of friendships, curious about diversity and differences, speaks up for inclusion, and serves as a positive peer role model. And a lot of our students from, once again, I think what I love about my job is every day, you come into work and obviously you have challenges, but when you're working with the kids, you're seeing our students from the elementary schools, the middle school, to the high school, and you hear about these stories of them standing up, supporting one another, being kind. It's just incredible. So it gives us hope about the future here, and I'm just glad to be part of the Human Rights Commission. I'm not a board member, but I am an active participant.
It's true.
Yes. And I'm not sure if you wanted to say some things, but it was really a great night.
I mean, we've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And every year it's just, it's very heartwarming. I mean, you get a little fulfilled with some of the, letters and, the testimonials. It is amazing. And it's really a highlight, I think. It's certainly a highlight for the HRC each year, and I'm hoping that more people, we had a great attendance at the, here. Yeah.
It's 200 people.
Yeah.
Great.
100. Yes. Very powerful. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting older, but I do get very emotional these days, so maybe it's my age. But hearing the stories of, it's the whole, we teach the kids about being a bystander, being kind, and being empathetic. But when you hear these stories of our students as young as second graders stepping in when kids have felt left out, it's truly powerful. So it was a great, this report's all about community events that have been happening throughout, so it's very rewarding. And to end my superintendent's report, the city council dates for us, the budget and finance is going to be June 5th. Tomorrow night will be the CIP. And then I believe, Mayor, the special meeting for the budget vote is it confirmed for June 18th, or is it?
I think so. They got that penciled in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That would be a special meeting that they would call just to vote on the budget.
just to vote on the budget.
Yep.
So I guess that one's penciled in. So, but the next big meeting for us for our budget is going to be June 5th.
Okay,
And that's it.
great. Well, thank you, Superintendent. Any questions? All right. Okay, then that brings us to the end of our meeting. Would somebody like, oh, sorry, new business.
Can I just report, we had the CPAC meeting?
Oh, thank you.
That was
Please
another
report out.
field.
That was,
Yes.
I didn't,
Right?
it's going to make the next superintendent's report.
And that was last Thursday at the NOC, and it was great that Brad Brooks invited school adjustment counselors, or the equivalent thereof, from each of the schools to come and present and have and field questions from the parents around social emotional development, what's actually taking place in the school, as well as kids who need more than what they're getting specifically in the classroom and might need lunch bunch or other interventions. And I was really pleased. I thought the parents had some great questions, and I think they felt heard around some of their concerns. So I'm hoping that the CPAC can offer more of these kind of meetings to, get the word out, get the parents there, have them actively participating with people who interface with their students. So.
Yeah, I think the dialogue was very powerful. So even our adjustment counselors came back with an idea of having weekly meetings for parents, because there's a lot of questions of, it wasn't necessarily just special education, it was about raising children.
Absolutely.
It was about, cell phones and things like that, where the counselors have the background to help parent and give parents some guidelines and share resources. So I think there's, as you said, I think there's going to be a lot of good to come out of that. So, yeah.
Thank you, Member Shaw.
Sure.
All right, any other new business? I'll just say I went to the Green Expo this weekend and was really excited. I saw you and you didn't come say hi to me.
Oh, I avoided you.
And it was great to see the schools represented there. I was next to the, I can't remember what they called it, but it was like the Bresnahan Green Team group.
Yeah.
It was cool. That's
Did you
fun.
watch the worm charming?
I did not, because I was staffing a
It
booth.
was funny.
Was it good?
Yeah, they caught,
They caught some-
charmed 3 worms came up.
Oh, that's awesome.
One team had a bowl with a speaker in it
Youth
playing
Services
Metallica.
was really promoting this.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Enter Sandman?
What's that?
Enter Sandman?
No, you couldn't even hear it
couldn't hear
from
it.
where we were, but I think the worms could hear it.
That was awesome. Yeah.
But no, great turnout for Green Expo.
Yeah.
Everyone did a great job.
Yeah, it was a really cool event. It's lots of good stuff going on in the community. I appreciate all the work the schools are taking part in that as well. And I think it's really helpful to have positive stuff going on in the world we're in right now. So appreciate that. All right, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Let's go.
let's go.